You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Sunday Watch. It's a program that comes your way in both Yoruba and English languages, and as much as possible, we revolve all topics around the family. So it's family related, and I know that you and I have one or two to take away this morning on the show. I said earlier that I have two wonderful people who will be our guests this morning. They are here seated, and I know you're eager to meet them. I have the rare honor to introduce to you Mr. Dr. Adeni Ojikutu. You're most welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right. I also have Mrs. Bolanle Osuji. She is joining us via our social media platforms. You're most welcome, madam.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you for sparing your wonderful time this early morning with us. I know it's really not easy.
Trust me.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I want to set the ball rolling from you. Now, according to research, over 60% of media activities online is over 60%. All others, friendship, family, conversation at maybe so in social gatherings, share the remaining 40%. For online conversation, over 60%. What does this portend for the family?
Well, I think social media has become a major part of our everyday life. It has come to stay, and it's affecting us as to how we connect, communicate, and yeah. So, and how we also sustain and maintain relationships. So, for me, I think that it has really helped in several ways. It has its pros and cons, and one of the things that I found out with social media is the fact that it has helped to better connect, better communication with the family. You know, like I'm right here, like miles away, and I'm able to connect right now. It's one of the benefit of social media, as it were.
Thank you, thank you. I'll hold you there. All right, now to you, Dr. Jikutu. You know, she established one fact, and that is a major advantage of online conversations. Social media, as she said, has come to stay. Now, she just she pointed out at the fact that the advantages are enormous, and she mentioned few. But I won't mind. You have traversed in the system as far as information technology is concerned. How will you describe online transactions, online conversations in recent years?
Basically, research has it that when you say social media, I don't want us to be too technical. So let's just break it down like form of interconnectivity using technology.
Yes.
And some of these technology applications are the popular ones, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the Instagram, and Twitter, and all that. Now, and Snapchat for the younger generations, you know. Now, the implication is that the form and way of communication has changed. When you look at yesteryears, you see that, you know, the community are smaller, they are not global in nature, but as time is evolving, it's becoming a globalized world whereby someone is on this program right now, far away, you know, elsewhere, and she's part of the program, she can contribute and all that. So this, you know, interconnectivity using the internet, using technology, socially, is now what social media represents. And what he has done is that he has helped to build entertainment. People are getting informed. You know, the way people are getting entertained is changing from the regular conversation to the online, and social networks are, entertaining people. It brings connectivity. It gives people more information. However, these are some of the advantages. It has disadvantages, but let's stick to the advantage first.
Yes.
Now, for the fact that it's easier, you can be somewhere and communicate with someone any other part of the globe.
Yes.
People are using it more, whereby it's more convenient. It's at your own time, and you have a tool, which is your mobile phone,
yes.
that connects you when it's connected to the
So that
internet.
is where the global community comes in.
So therefore, it's making communication easier, more. You can actually influence and direct whatever you want
desire.
to do because of the tool and the technology
Available.
available, the technological advantage that we're enjoying in today's world that was not there in yesteryears.
That was not there years back. That was not there decades ago. Okay, so Mrs. Osuji, I want us to bring it down now. We have, taken our time. You have taken your time to analyze the good parts of social media to human existence. And to the family now, unfortunately, it's depleting human conversation. It's a fact. And, research have also shown that this entangled process which many of us find ourselves in is breaking homes apart. What in your own knowledge as a mother, as a parent, and as someone who is, who is well traveled, what in your own knowledge do you feel should be done to ensure that, yes, the advantages are enormous, people are making use of it, they are leveraging on their advantages, and at the same time, keeping intact the human relationships when it comes to the family?
Well, I think in terms of social media and how to use it in a more have a healthy approach to social media, it would mean that there is a sense of controlling, especially like you said. I'm a child advocate, and I also have teenagers that I'm raising. I have children that I'm raising. So from that perspective, it helps me to really understand that they have become so dependent on social media as their number one source for information, which has somehow kind of create a huge gap in the family. But one of the things that I feel like for us that we should have to start looking at is we can't take that away. You cannot, but you can help them to control their usage. And that is also done by setting healthy boundaries in the family where, you practice how you use your social media, what time. Like in my home, my kids, they know that when you step into the home, there is a place that we all drop our phone. Every phone must be in that designated area so that every interaction has to be face to face. You want to talk to me, you want to do anything. So those are the things that we need to do. Like also offering encouragement, allowing each other to develop that point of, kind of having to talk to one another, because the kids that we have these days, they are so glued to it that it has reduced their attention span. They do not have long attention span. So if you want to sit them down and want to talk to them, they probably wouldn't want to stay with you for that long time. So what we need to do is helping them to understand and helping them to just kind of set those boundaries. While we are not essentially taking social media away, it's part of their life. It's part of our life. But also helping them to know this is what you need to do. And also from the younger generation also, there are a lot of things that is happening these days that as time goes on, for our generation, we will be lacking if we are not. So from them, we also will be learning some of the new things that are evolving, because social media is also evolving and it's going to keep evolving. And some of us might not be able to catch up with what is happening in that space. So we also need them to be able to educate us, to, give us that kind of a catching up speed. So yeah.
Thank you very, very much, Mrs. Osuji. I come over to you, Doctor. Well, it's getting actually interesting. When she initially mentioned control, of children, I smiled because I brought myself to a reality. Teaching, sometimes children could be hand-failed when it comes to controlling them. It's a reality that we parents have to face. So now, from your own expertise, how do we secure a better future by ensuring that today's generation manage their time when it comes to the use or being online? Because like someone once told me, he said once they are on their phones, I don't know how to, I don't want to use this word, they are more like something that you can easily remote control. They rarely greet, they rarely do anything. They get so entangled with their phones. So what do you suggest that parents do to ensure that we have a future that is not totally taken away by today's interconnectivity?
Okay, thank you very much. First, I want to say this, that going into 2025, all parents that has children in SS2, SS3 should try as much as possible to either take the phones away from Mondays to Friday evening, or take it away totally.
Between when and exactly, because I have to ask between when
now,
and when.
Between now and probably JAM and WAHEC, or SAT. That's between this time till May, June next year. If you know your word or your pupil or your child is writing examination, maybe WAHEC or university admission examination, or SAT, or whatever examination that is critical to their lives. That's preparing, so that we will not come back here. We're on this program, we analyze the result of JAM.
Yes. I still remember, clearly, vividly,
so, for us to not come, below 24% of pass rate, which was what we recorded
the last time,
and 2 years ago.
Yes, about 2 years
I
ago.
want us to try, all parents, these are a serious one, to all parents, to please, let's take the phones, the social media platforms away from them, and we should monitor them even on their laptops, because they move those things to those laptops and they still communicate. Keep late nights. While parents think they are studying, they're actually communicating on a lot of applications. There are global networks that all, probably teenagers all over the world can come, gist, and be chatting till late night. While some people are awake, some are. So what we should do as parents is this example that are broken down. Take those applications away from them. That is one. Two is that as parents, as families, we should try as much as possible to improve the personal interaction time. Number one, as a Muslim, you must pray 5 times a day. You cannot pray online. You cannot do salat online.
Okay.
So make sure that those 5 times
you observe them.
You observe them together, and probably you communicate, talk, and exchange
but
ideas.
what if in instances
now,
where people
as
are not
Christians,
together?
as Christians, you pray every morning.
Yeah.
As family, try and make sure that, because those are just the little times that you can have personal interaction. These days, children are so smart that you'll be in the same house with them. The parents will go to work in the morning. By the time they are back in the evening, they will say they are asleep. I'm telling you, they are not. They will just want to be in their rooms, and you feel, okay, everybody is asleep. But when anything happens, you go to that room, you see them still be chatting at 1 a.m. So you should make sure that those interpersonal times, family time, you make sure you respect them. More so, what will help us as, building the family, not affecting or allowing social media to affect the family times, is this again. We should make sure we create, family opportunities to bond physically, not online.
Not online.
Now, what we should do is that there are a lot, even towards the end of the year, all across states, there are a lot of programs that are seminars, exhibitions, trade fairs that are going on all around. Make sure you take your kids. Look at the, shopping malls. There are a lot of family events, family bonding,
family
extended
bonding.
bondings. Make sure that you, as elder of the family, maybe the father, the mother, you bring the children together, the family together. Those are interpersonal times. And you make sure you keep the rule of when we are out, I call it, all of us cannot go out and be seated for a drink or a meal, and people will be pressing phone. What they charge you for, they will say what you are doing is antisocial.
Okay.
Because the social world is the interpersonal
Personal.
relationship, not the online.
Online. All right, Mrs. Osuji. Okay. Now, it's a matter of the family. Now, you as a mother, we have seen parents, mother and father, chatting, even in their separate rooms on the same roof. They send messages to each other. Do you see this as a healthy way of communicating for especially the people we call family heads? Mrs. Osuji. All right?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, very well.
Okay.
So I said with that family, in that context, that family is already very dysfunctional if the parents are both communicating via their phones as opposed to doing it physically. And that also means that the family will, like the parents, would that mean they have set the wrong example for that family and for those children as a whole? Because most of the time, what we do, especially as parents, especially as adults, the bad ones, they reflect more on our children as opposed to the good ones. They are more pronounced in our children. So that is why it is also very important as parents to check ourselves as what are we doing, and what we do, how is it reflecting and influencing the life of our children? It is important that we take that into cognizance. Like sometimes we can set boundaries, but if we are not disciplined by our own boundaries, or we are not setting that rule for ourselves also, we're just setting rules for children, there is a way the children would listen, they would hear you, but trust me, like Mr. Ojukutu said, they will not do what you're saying because you are not practicing what you're preaching.
Yeah.
So oftentimes, as parents, we want to set rules, but we do not want to be held bound, accountable by the rules that we are setting. And children are looking at those things and they're not taking you seriously because you are saying two things. You are doing two things. You are saying, don't do this, don't stay on your phone, but you are on your phone. And that is one of the things that, that means that that family is very dysfunctional. The parents need to sit back and look at what are the children saying.
All right.
It is very important.
Very important.
What are the children saying?
So it should be a matter of do as I do and not just do as I say.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because unknown to many parents, children watch what parents do and they pick from it, especially the negative vibes. So ensure, that is absolutely true. So parents, as much as possible, it's true, especially the negative vibes. You won't know that they are watching. The day they will shock you will be when they will give you a narrative of what they saw you doing, that is really, really wrong. But I want to remain with you, Mrs. Osuji, briefly before I come to the studio here. I know that a lot of effort have been done by parents to ensure that more of physical interaction is promoted. What, in your own thinking, should be government policies in checking our cyberspace, if it is possible?
Okay, so from being in the Western world right now, I see the phone. I think in Nigeria, things are a bit, you can still enforce your rules and regulations on the children, but right here, like you have children telling you, I know my right, like children use the phone. And I don't just walk with children, I walk in the school space, so I see like children in the classroom glued to their phone, like they are in their phone. And we are in the world where the teachers are helpless. The ones that are supposed to impact the child, they are so helpless because you can't say anything. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, no child should fail. Like every child has to pass. Like no child. No child would fail. You have to pass. So there is a lot of that we need to do as parents.
Okay.
Like I always say, you have to set clear rules. When you are setting these rules, you have to be bound by those rules.
You have
So
to
for
be
me-
bound. Yes, for you, yes.
For me,
Yes.
it is that I must discipline myself first, then it rubs off them. It is an energy.
Okay.
It will rub off them more than you say it. Because when you say it, when you keep saying it, at some point, it becomes a clanging sound, like you are just making noise. It's not going to make sense to them. But when you keep doing it and they see that, oh, but she does it too. Like I remember, like I just like 3 weeks ago, my daughter, like she did something and I said, you know what, I'm taking away your phone. And she was like, no, I need my phone for my boss. And I was like, I don't care how you want to get to school. Get to school. Before the phone, you had a life. So I want, and then she was able to do that for 3 weeks. And I said, so how do you feel? Do you feel attached? And then she said she missed it. I said, for you to miss your phone, that means you are attached to that phone. So you need to break that attachment. You have to be in control, not the phone controlling you.
Thank you.
Have to be in control.
Thank you. I'll hold you there. I'll hold you there. I come over to Dr. Ojikutu. We have parental efforts, and we also have government efforts. And that comes in ways of policy formation to check one or two of the excesses. You smiled. Yeah, I know you have really traversed as far as that sector is concerned. So what do you think the government should do in ensuring that we don't have it in excess?
Thank you. The government can only...
You will also react to her part where she said, in that part of the world, you can barely go far in disciplining a child.
Thank you. Let me start from there. Now, thank you, Madam Osuji. The information is that, do you know that educating people abroad, most especially on the part of teachers, you see pupils tell their teachers that, Auntie, I'm not smart. Ordinary basic mathematics, when you're teaching them, if a child is feeling, I'm finding it difficult, or you're teaching them sciences, the child has the right, why the teacher is trying to encourage that, please, come on, you can do it better, they will be like, okay, Auntie, I'm not smart. And the moment they are saying, I'm not smart, you can't force them to probably wanting to know that particular topic. You can only persuade them and try to give them more illustration to make them do better at it. But do you know that what is paying off for us as Nigerians and this part of the world is that our method of teaching, some people will say is a kosori or a kasori. Can you remember?
You cram.
Madam Anita, cramming. It's called agberugbeso or what. But the truth is that method has actually helped us to be able to produce more medical doctors, more engineers that can compete globally and can do well academically anywhere in the world because knowledge is being sorted. Forget the fact that we have our own challenges in our climate in terms of maybe infrastructural development, sociocultural, is not even a proper economical and all, whatever problem that we have in this part of the world. But the truth is that bring a Nigerian engineer or take a Nigerian graduate, drop him in UK in any of the university, and see whether him or her is going
Will
to
not
do well.
excel.
The answer is they will excel. At some point last year, someone was telling me that in a class in UK, that out of like 120 students in master's class, there were over 95, almost 100 of them were Nigerians. That is to tell you that, and they would do well, they would top the classes in US, in America, in Canada, and
All over.
developing world or developed world. The
yes.
implication is that our education system, whereby we try and push our children, we try and enforce our laws, spare the child, spare the rod and spoil the child, is is a doctrinal principle.
I know Mrs. Osuji will not agree totally with this.
No, because it's not in that climb
Anymore.
But in our own climb, training a child is in the biblical world, that doctrine, and even in religion setting, there are measures that you need to put children in line.
Yeah.
Now, development
To
in
achieve
their own
quality
climb,
results in them,
their
yes.
own climb is, which we are not totally in agreement with. So what we should say is that even in our schools, it's not as if beating is accepted anymore. But what we are saying is that try as much as possible. I have a child that he said he wanted to study, he didn't want to go to science class because I did, I did management, but because I'm reducing 90
you wanted
words
your child
to
to
do
go into
computer
sciences.
computer sciences. I think I've said it before.
Yeah.
And the child, he had A1 in chemistry. So now he's a proud, science student and like, okay, he's very smart. But he didn't believe he was going to do it. So therefore, learning, to me, Israel
Should come with
Kittner, Israel
encouragement.
Kittner said in his own theory that learning is part of, success, that you must try as much as possible to learn something. So studying, in school and everything is part of the things that you must push. Is what you try to know that you know. What you don't make effort, you don't.
You
So
don't
therefore,
achieve, yes,
we
anything.
should try as much as possible. Government, on their own part, to go to that question, briefly, what government should do is to continue to improve the infrastructure. How do I mean? Let there be freer internet.
Okay.
Let there be access to internet. Let there be internet penetration across Nigeria and across the states. If these are achieved, usage is left to individuals. And as parents, we have to control our children.
So
at
it boils down to the parents too, still.
Yes, government is just providing the enabling environment and giving opportunity for investors to come up, and where they can even help. Almost all the schools should have free access to internet for education and academic purposes.
All schools.
All schools. I've said it before.
Either paid
we should
or,
start from
or government-owned schools.
All schools should have free
schools
access
should have
because
access.
library is becoming E. So no
Yeah, of
more.
course,
We
all
are not
have to buy
packing on.
into
Yeah,
it.
we have to key into
Yes.
it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ fún àwọn àlejò wa. Wọ́n ti sọ ohun ọ̀pọ̀ nǹkan tó pọ̀ nípa ẹ̀rọ ayélujára pẹ̀lú àwọn ohun tí à ń jẹ ní àǹfààní, torí kò sí ní ta lè ṣe sí mọ́ o, ó ti wà pẹ̀lú wa. Kí ni ọ̀nà tí a lè gbé gbà láti rí wípé ẹ̀rọ ayélujára yìí bí a ṣe ń lò ó ń jẹ́ ohun àǹfààní fún wa? Kí wá ni àwọn ohun tí àwa tá jẹ́ òbí ní láti ṣe láti rí wípé àmúlò yìí ó jẹ́ pàtàkì? Mo fẹ́ bi Mrs. Osuji ní èdè abínibí wípé kí ni àwọn ọ̀nà tí a lè gbà tí òbí lè ṣe láti rí wípé gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí à ń lò àti bí a ṣe ń lo ẹ̀rọ ayélujára yìí ó jẹ́ nǹkan pàtàkì ní ìdílé? Mrs. Osuji.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni. So màá try láti sọ ní
Yorùbá. Ẹ gbìyànjú, ẹ bá wa kó pọ̀.
Yes, so fún àwa òbí, iṣẹ́ wà fún wa láti ṣe, and ara iṣẹ́ yẹn ni pé a lè yọ social media yìí àwọn a lè yọ kúrò but a máa jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ wa máa rí pé bí wọ́n ṣe lè lórí irú inú ilé mi ń sìn tí mi ò bá sí nílé tí bá lọ bí iṣẹ́ a ní group ibẹ̀ ni máa post kí ni because mo mọ̀ pé ibẹ̀ gbogbo ìgbà ibẹ̀ lọ máa wà so wọn ò ní sọ fún mi pé mi ò gbọ́ kíní nígbà tẹ́ sọ mi ò rí nígbà tẹ́ sọ so mo wá ń gbìyànjú láti jẹ́ pé ìlò tó ń lò fún ìlò nǹkan tó dáa ni bóyá nísìnyìí tá a bá máa ṣe time tájọ máa ń jókòó papọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí family as our family time a máa ti send àwọn topics pé ó yá ẹ lọ ka kíní ẹ lọ wo kíní yìí o tẹ́ bá ti wò tán a máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ẹ̀ so that àwọn nǹkan yẹn ni pé nǹkan tí wọ́n ń lò nísìnyí nìyẹn nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe nísìnyí nìyẹn báwo la ṣe lè bá wọn lò tó jẹ́ pé àwọn náà máa lè jẹ́ pé a lè máa pàṣẹ àwọn nǹkan tó máa mú
àǹfààní
tó máa mú good result wá sí life wọn yeah so that is the way we can do it like a kò máa make sure pé okay wọ́n ń lò fún àwọn nǹkan tó dáa àwọn nǹkan tó tọ́ àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ inú ẹ̀ náà kò ṣe pé wọn ò ní yà lọ́wọ́ nǹkan tí wọn ò ní ṣe nǹkan tí ò yẹ kó ṣe o but nínú pé wọ́n ń ṣe náà láti máa fà wọ́n padà pé no eléyìí mo fẹ́ yẹ kó lò fún eléyìí mo yẹ kó lò fún and lákòótán àwa òbí náà à ń láti kóra wa níjàánu nípa báwa náà ṣe ń lò nǹkan tí wọ́n ń rí tá à ń ṣe ó ṣe kókó. Ẹ ṣé gan.
Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ arábìnrin Bọ́láńlé Òsújì fún àsìkò yín ní òwúrọ̀ yìí lórí Sunday Watch èmi máa fi yín sílẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ní ohun ẹyọ kan péré kí ni nǹkan tí ẹ̀yin máa gbà níyànjú fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ní ohun kan péré mò ń gbọ́ yín ká tó ní pé kẹ́ ẹ máa lọ. Ó yá.
Àwọn ọ̀dọ́ òun ni pé kò ń ṣe nǹkan tó wà lórí social media òun ni òtítọ́ kò ń ṣe nǹkan tó wà lórí social media òun lòtítọ́ nítorí pé gbogbo ẹni tó wá tó lo social media ìmọ̀ tiwọn bí ìmọ̀ wọn ṣe wà tó bí òye wọn ṣe wà tó òun lolúkálùkù ń gbé sí ìta tá à ń rí so kò ń ṣe nǹkan wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ gbé ìgbé ayé wọn based on nǹkan tí wọ́n ń rí lórí social media.
Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ gan-an ni tí a bá pè yín ó dá mi lójú pé ẹ tún máa jẹ wá ní ọjọ́ mi ẹ ṣé gan-an ni ẹ bá wa kí gbogbo lé o adúpẹ́.
Ẹ ṣé gan-an ni ẹ ṣé gan-an.
All right ma.
Ẹ ṣé.
Okay, and now Dr. Ojikutu wọ́n ní òbí mà ní nǹkan púpọ̀ láti ṣe láti rí wípé ẹ̀rọ ayélujára yìí kò ń ṣe ohun ìyapa fún wa bí ò jẹ́ ohun tó pa wá pọ̀ ṣé ẹ̀yin náà rí bẹ́ẹ̀.
Ẹ tútù ìbéèrè ẹ béèrè kí mo.
Wọ́n ní pé ẹ̀rọ ayélujára yìí wípé tí wọ́n ní ó wà lọ́wọ́ òbí púpọ̀ wọ́n ní tóbi bá hùwà tó gbé ìgbésẹ̀ pé mo fẹ́ jẹ́ ẹni àwòkọ́ṣe òun ló máa kọ́kọ́ ṣe ohun tó tọ́ láti tí àwọn ọmọ máa tẹ̀lé tàbí gbogbo àwọn tó kù tó máa tẹ̀lé mo ní ṣé ẹ̀yin náà rí bẹ́ẹ̀ láti rí wípé ó mú ilé dúró ju kó yà wọ́n.
Ṣe ti rí ẹ̀rọ yìí ó ti ń yalé tá a bá sọ òbí sọmọ ẹ jẹ́ ká máa sọ ọkọ sí ìyàwó náà èyí táwọn òbí tá gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe ni pé nǹkan tí ìyàwó mi ò gbọ́dọ̀ rí mi tí n bá gbé ẹ̀rọ ayélujára mi tí n bá gbélẹ̀ ṣé mo lè gbé fún ìyàwó mi kó máa bá mi dáhùn èèyàn lóhùn fún ọjọ́ méjì àbọ̀jọ́ mẹ́ta tíjà ò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣé èmi náà àsìyàwó ṣé mo lè gbé ẹ̀rọ ayélujára yìí ṣé mo lè gbé fún ọkọ mi láàrin ọjọ́ méjì kóníkálùkù kọ́kọ́ wo kó yẹ ara ẹ̀ wò ìyẹn ìkíní ìkejì ni pé ṣé àsòbí ṣé mo lè gbé ẹ̀rọ mi fáwọn ọmọ mi láàrin ọjọ́ méjì kó máa bá mi dáhùn èèyàn lóhùn ṣé mo lè ṣe àbí mo lè ṣe ọmọ náà ṣé mo lè gbé ẹ̀rọ ayélujára mi ṣé mo lè gbé fáwọn òbí mi nítorí ibi téèyàn ò sí ọlọ́run wà ń bẹ̀ bá ṣe ń lò ẹ̀yọ́ ayélujára yìí ti wá láti wà pẹ̀lú wa ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ ilé ní òyìnbó nǹkan tó ń pè ní Facebook ó wà èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé ó wà active lórí ẹ̀ is 3 billion out of 9 billion nínú oṣù kan. Instagram 2 billion out of 9 billion people plus
So,
in the world. Ìdí ni pé tẹ́ bá wá wò ó pé àwọn èèyàn máa débẹ̀ a lè padà sẹ́yìn mọ́. Tá a ṣe wá padà sẹ́yìn yẹn bá a ṣe ń lò ló important jù ló ṣe kókó fún wa. Ìkíní ni pé ẹ̀rọ yìí ó wà nù nǹkan tó ń wéèsì àsìkò ju àsìkò téèyàn lè fi ṣoríire. Kí ni mò ń lò fún?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ìdí ẹ̀ orí ẹ̀rọ yìí náà ló ti máa kọ́ bó ṣe fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan, ló ti máa kọ́ bó ṣe fẹ́ kọ́ṣẹ́, ló ti máa kọ́. So ṣé wọ́n lò fún
lówó rẹpẹtẹ o.
tí ò ní ná ẹ lówó rẹpẹtẹ ọ tó bá tiẹ̀ lọ kọ́ díẹ̀ ń ta ibi ló ti máa parí ẹ̀. Ìgbà tó bá wá ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ o lè kọ́ coding, o lè kọ́ a lot of nǹkan make up and everything.
O lè kaṣọ ríran
o lè kọ́ aṣọ ríran bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé wọ́n lò fún nǹkan tó máa
ṣe é
láǹfààní ni àbó ń lò fún nǹkan ẹjọ́ wẹ́wẹ́ èyí tó ń pè ní entertainment tó bá wà lórí ẹ̀ ìjà.
Entertainment kan ààyè ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́ entertainment.
O lè lo ṣe ti rí tó bá fẹ́ lo fún entertainment yẹn.
Torí àwọn kan ìdí ẹ̀ náà ti ń rí tiwọn o.
ṣe ti rí di entertainment yẹn tá à ń sọ ní pé nísìn o fẹ́ lo ẹ̀rọ yìí fún wákàtí 4 ṣé gbogbo wákàtí 4 yẹn ló máa fi ṣe àwàdà àbí ló máa fi kọ́ pé o fẹ́ kọ́ nínú ẹ̀ ẹlòmíì tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ńléeṣẹ́ kan tó ń gbowó oṣù tó yìí ń complain pé owó yẹn ò tó òun ẹ̀rọ dẹ̀ wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀
tó máa
tó lè fi
wúlò
kọ́ nǹkan tó lè máa fi improve family ẹ̀
tó máa jẹ́
ohun nǹkan advantage fún ẹ. Ọmọ iléèwé náà nínú àwọn ọmọ wa náà ká máa kọ́ wọn sí pé ẹ̀rọ tó wà lọ́wọ́ yìí ló lè fi kọ́ coding ló lè fi ṣe jam ló lè fi download jam application ló lè fi kọ́ even course tó ń ṣe ní university ẹ̀rọ yìí lè wúlò fún ẹ to the extent that títí sábà ṣe ń kọ́ ẹ tán. Go and check that topic. Management theory, people has written on it. Social theories, literature.
Wàá túnra
ẹ̀kọ́ láti lè even tí teacher bá béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹnu exam.
Láti lè dúró bó ṣe yẹ nítorí pé
níjọ́ tí wọ́n bá béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wàá lè ṣe dáadáa ní ẹnu iléèwé yẹn. Ẹni tó jẹ́ àgbàlagbà á lè ní money to support your family. Láti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ilé máa tò dáadáa.
Ìlú adẹ́gbòrò
Ọlọ́run fún wa ṣe.
Àmì ẹ ṣé gan ni dókítà Adeniyi Ojikutu fún àsìkò yín. All right, it's on the note that we appreciate everyone who made today's production a successful one. And once again, I want to appreciate Mrs. Bolanle Osuji for her presence on the program, and also Dr. Adeniyi Ojikutu.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Anita
All right. Okay, we'll see same time next week by His grace. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a fantabulous week ahead. It's bye for now.